Well, hey there. Just before we jump into today's episode, I want to tell you about our friends over at MAI Fulfillment. Now, they really are a smarter 3PL partner for e-commerce brands that need more than just basic pick, pack, and ship. Now, MAI handles the whole picture. Like we're talking D2C fulfillment, B2B distribution, retail-ready shipping, and inventory management. Like they handle returns and even a lot of value-added services, all backed by technology that keeps your orders, your inventory, and most importantly, your sales channels all connected. Now, here's what makes them different. With MAI, you're not just getting lost inside some massive, inflexible network. Like you get real systems with real visibility. And most importantly, there's real people who actually know your business. Like their warehouse team is actual MAI employees. Like they're not outsourced labor. And that means more control, like better accountability overall, and really a team that is trained to protect your accuracy, speed, and like most importantly, helping build your customer experience. And so whether you're scaling on Shopify or you're looking to expand into wholesale, managing maybe even a seasonal spike, or you're just kind of tired of feeling like another account number, maybe in a big box 3PL, MAI really does give you the structure to grow without losing control. So it's time to actually turn your fulfillment into a growth engine, not a bottleneck. And you can learn more about them and their process and their systems over at maifulfillment.com. That's maifulfillment.com. All right, let's jump into today's episode. All right, well, welcome back to E-commerce Fastlane. I'm your host, Steve Hutt. Now, today's conversation is all about kind of the offers that you put in front of your traffic right now. And like, I think why the instinct, like most of us have as operators, is probably a little bit backwards. I've been doing a little bit of research kind of for today's recording, and it's interesting, like between that research I did today and the DMs and things that I get from merchants, like from social, it's like the pattern that keeps showing up over and over again. Like most merchants are actually reaching for bigger discounts to win the sign up. Like we're talking like these pop-up and exit intent kind of things that come on your website, right? And my guest today has research that shows that literally a 10% offer can actually beat a 15% offer. And literally, and I've read some research on this, by a much bigger margin than you would expect. And so we get into that today. I really believe it's going to kind of flip the script a bit about how you think about and how you execute your offers on your website. And my guest is Taras Talimonchuk, and he is the CMO of a company called Claspo. That's CLASPO. So Claspo.io. Now, Claspo has served, literally, he'll probably tell me the real numbers here, but billions of pop-up impressions across hundreds of thousands of sites. And so when they talk about what's actually converting, they literally have the data to back it all up. And this is like, they really are at scale. This is not just a bunch of theory. And I'm hoping that by the end of today's recording that you'll know a lot about, why most of these email pop-ups are kind of like underperforming as well as maybe they should. And you'll know more about how to target and have better targeting overall, and you can move signups to a much larger capacity. So let's jump into today's conversation. Hello, Taras. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And so let's talk about Claspo, because I think it came out originally, I believe, out of a e-commerce agency and an ESP. Like you're not from a VC round. And so can you talk a little bit about like being close to a real merchant operation? Like how did that help kind of build this solution? I guess I'm looking for more of the origin story.
Yes, the story was, as you said, between the e-commerce agency that is a local leader in Ukraine and ESP system ESP-native, which is also e-commerce local leader in Ukraine. And the thing is very, very simple. When clients, especially big e-commerce, they ask to agency to create some exceptional experience, not a regular pop-up. It usually about the tactic, some gamification, some interaction, and more comprehensive targeting, personalization. And ESP as a system, they don't need this, kind of complexity in this part of their functionality. Mm-hmm. So they're doing pop-ups and forums, and they do that just good enough for major of clients. And something exceptional, so agencies started to build their own things. And in one moment they decided, like, we can do it together. Let's build another product that will cover another needs, that will cover the needs of merchants that want exceptional experience, that want the better conversion, that want to capture a high intent and develop it and pass these, these warm leads to ESP system. That's how Claspo started. That's a batch of experiments, different experiments that at the end of the day became a product idea.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've been doing this podcast for, over 8 years, and it seems that a lot of the best solutions, these apps and marketing platforms that connect to Shopify, a lot of the original founder story is built in-house to solve their own problem because no one else was solving it very uniquely for their business, and it was successful. But then all of a sudden, just word on the street or even internally, the teams say, hey, wait a second, is there a SaaS product available here that could have a recurring revenue, and can others get benefit of this solution? And that's exactly what's happened with Claspo. In-house working for what it needs to do, and very successful. It's oh, wait a second, there's more opportunity for others to get to use it. And, here we are today talking about it because so many people are using it.
Yes. This is the evolution of purpose. So Claspo started as the tool that helped to save development costs. Actually, yeah, because there was no problem to invent gamification or to invent new game for new brand. But the problem was the cost of this development, that every client should pay about 5,000 euros for his branded game on the website. So that was the beginning. Now we see another problem. Now we see that we resolve problem of the conversion, problem of returning of investment, where every marketer's headache starts the customer acquisition cost and LTV.
Yeah, so. It's crazy. It's interesting. I find that from what I read, your core thesis around Claspo is the fact that a lot of Shopify traffic is anonymous, and literally it's kind of gone in seconds. And so knowing that, can you kind of walk me through, what merchants are actually losing if they don't treat a lot of people are treating their pop-ups as an afterthought, instead of thinking it, as a business driver. And so talk a little about, because I think that's the differentiation right now with Claspo, with the uniqueness or of the unique visitors, and then how Claspo interacts with those.
Yes. We see the problem of shopping intent. We are working on precisely identification of shopping intent. So we can, in a simple words, just to picture how this works, we have every merchant has traffic from paid channels, from organic, from LLM systems, and it lands on PDP pages, on blog pages, on main page, and all these segments they have a different shopping intent, and they have to be treated differently. And the problem that you can see in the most of Shopify stores, that the welcome message, welcome pop-up, is usually offering a 10% off, and this is a regular practice. And this is the gap that we see on the market, and we help to resolve it. We help to identify who is really needs this 10% off. We are not saying that 10% off pop-up is bad. It is not bad. It is a good tactic, but not for all traffic, not for all audience. For some of those people, it's better to show a quiz. For
Right.
some, it's this 10% off or another kind of game. So yeah, that's different. And another thing here is that so many hypotheses, so many ideas, and we know how hard it is to implement everything, how hard it is to A/B test it, and that's why we develop our agentic AI direction.
Right.
So we help to build these, complicated tests, to prioritize hypotheses, to set up tests and automatically. So no need to sit and create all these variants, track everyday conversion. The agent do it for you because this is a job that AI can do now.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I think about some of the, the built-in forms like the pop-up and exit intent and scroll intent and these sort of things, like in Klaviyo or Omnisend. They all, from what I can see, they seem to kind of look and convert very similarly just because they're native kind of within their ESP, these email service providers. And so like why do you think that some of these native solutions, why do they hit a ceiling for like the value that they're bringing? And then let's contrast that to, what Claspo is doing. Because literally you could choose to not use the defaults that are built into Klaviyo and Omnisend and use Claspo instead. But let's talk about the differences and why you believe there's a ceiling that hits with the default ones.
I can see from perspective of ESP because I'm familiar with with the problems that ESP is trying to resolve. This is not their main focus problem, to identify this anonymous traffic, to see the difference, to read these thousands of signals of events during the website journey and to make a behavioral segments. This is not their the value that they give to their clients. They have plenty of use cases to cover in the email automation field, so
Right.
that's why they're not doing this focus, and it's understandable. They're doing great automation, they're doing great CDP platforms and so on, and they do it great. So pop-ups is not their it's not their lane.
Right.
So yeah, that's why there is a moment when marketer, it could be a CRO specialist or email marketer, can just notice that, okay, I'm stacked on 3% opt-in conversion on my website. What I can do? They learn tactics, they learn best practices about gamification, about segmentation and personalization, but they just can't do with their ESP. And then they are looking for pop-up apps on the marketplaces, on the Shopify App Store or Klaviyo App Store. Yeah, that's how it works. How they find us.
Yeah, I know exactly. It was interesting too because, like, you mentioned about the gamification side of it, and you say that if email capture, I mean, I don't know what it's sitting at, like 1%, 2% kind of sign up rate, and I think which is quite low, but I think that's more kind of the way it is. But then when you add these kind of gamification kind of triggers to it, I think the hit rate, the percentage, the interactivity, and ultimately getting the email address, it's significantly higher. Like, what do you think is driving that gap between this default regular type of pop-up exit intent versus a gamified version?
How people love games. I think that the driver is that people love games. They it is maybe not obvious thing that e-commerce shopping journey can be a game, but it is even without gamified pop-up. The process of selling, the process of shopping, it is a game. So if you understand it, if you can play with your visitor, play honestly. That's my point. If you can play honestly, you can not just win conversion at this moment. You can win in long term, because just imagine the two different cases. One case, someone got a discount and then made their first purchase and forgot about you. And another, they played the game. They got an experience with the brand, not just discount and then robber you your margin. And they had a nice experience, playful experience. That's like something that you leave a good memory about this first experience of shopping. So that's why gamification works so good.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I've actually gone to your website now too, and I'm seeing a lot of the templates and things about the different goals and things that the brand may want, from growing your email list. There's quite a few templates in there, increasing sales, which is great. And then obviously straight up lead generation, which is interesting, depending on the use case that people are looking for. What I find also interesting, and I kind of mentioned at the top of the show about the quote unquote, the kind of default 10% off in exchange for an email address, first time visitor kind of bonus thing. What's interesting though is that you have found that offering a smaller offer converts better. So maybe instead of offering maybe a 15% off, maybe you're being extra aggressive. Sometimes maybe the 10% off, it significantly converts better. Like, well, what does your data tell you about like the merchants that you work with? And then I'm just curious as to why, because people want to know why we can give a lower offer but have a higher conversion rate for email capture.
Honestly, Steve, I have a data I will share with you with a great pleasure, but all I have about this interpretation, it's guessings, because I don't know exactly why it is so. So we see that we have a 7% conversion for offers like from 1 to 10%, and lower conversion 6% for offers from 11 to 15. So it seems like it's better to give 10% off than 15. You will have better conversion. But then the conversion rate jumps higher when it comes to 16, 20%. It's 17. So it's very, very big. But the reasons are, the first reason I see here, it is because of the gamified pop-ups are also included in this data set. And gamification is doing, such thing. You can see that you can win up to 50%. But
I see.
The average win score marketers can manage, so it can be 10, really. So that's maybe a reason that we see the better conversion, because the bigger offer. At the same time, we have an investigation of the revenue per visitor, because we measured not just conversion, we measured then the revenue event, and we saw that from 1 to 10% offers, they're doing better revenue than higher discounts, which is logically so. A higher discount means that you got better conversion, but you got a discount hunters. For lower, it is working this way. So that's just a guessing. And another guessing is that the social the ability of people to copy experience of other people. So I mean that all merchants are looking, okay, what others doing? They're giving 10% off. Okay, I will do also 10% off. And shoppers, they see this 10% off, and if they see another figure, not a 10%, they probably don't trust it. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, no, that must exactly be it. Now, what about the pop up? If it only, and I think this is probably best practice, but I'm just curious from your perspective about only showing it like to new kind of like non-subscribed visitors, because I think it would seem that, and I think there's a lot of major brands that fail at this, like logged in or not on the website. Even there's a lot of Shopify stores that I shop at, and I'm really shocked. Well, a couple things they get wrong. Number one, in some cases I'm logged in, other cases I'm not, and so the personalization that happens sometimes is really poor. Even my emails, I'm getting like women's clothing to my email where clearly they know that I've made purchases of like only men's clothing, which is a separate failure on their ESP. But from a pop-up perspective, like what's your data tell you about how you're best to only pop up to new and non-subscribed visitors and then have a different experience for the logged in or previously visited customers?
Yeah, this is a technical stuff, and every pop-up app offers the system of identifying a unique user and the system of targeting to new users and to returning visitors.
Right.
But the technical difference is that what we found that there is a gap on the market, and many of our competitors, and I don't know how to name ESPs. ESPs are not competitors; they are frenemies.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep, it's true.
Yeah. So they don't do that, as I mentioned before, because this is not their main job. So they don't do this complex fingerprint. And we build this system. We build this system that identifies the unicity of visitor by different signals. Not only one, not only cookie, not only Google Analytics for AD, and so on. So this is a complex technical issue that helps us to dramatically increase the efficiency of this sort of targeting new visitors. And that's what actually when it comes to email pop-up, the new visitors, it's a segment that was desirable to work with because we need the contact from these new visitors.
It's amazing. And so how does this, it's a slight pivot here, but the whole AI assistance that we have, this agentic option now, this agentic AI that's kind of available now from within Claspo. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think it seems quite interesting to me, just the intelligence that are built into these frontier models right now about optimization that can happen, and maybe get it a little bit off the marketer's to-do list and kind of let the agent or the system make its modifications. Can you talk through what your AI assistance service that's available from within the platform, what it's actually doing, and is there any like case studies, even if it's anecdotally, you're saying, hey, they turned it on and here's what happened and here's all the experimentations they did, and I'm just curious about what the product actually does and if people may want to implement it.
Oh yeah, this is so interesting, so exciting field. Like sometimes I'm sitting at the end of the day in cursor watching these steps and thinking, okay, you can do this, and that at the same time. And I feel like the problem is that I can't prompt enough. The lack of my resources to prompting is the bottleneck. It's interesting. So regarding the Claspo and pop-ups, we built a component SDK a few years ago. That was a nice prediction of our visionaries, of our product management team, because they knew that the agentic era will require a good technology base to build the MCP and to open the ability of our platform to agents. So now what Claspo can do with AI, we can build components, we can build games. For example, your client says that I don't want this spin wheel pop-up on the website. I want a Mario game or Tetris. Doesn't matter. I want another game that no one have. So build me this. and you can prompt our component and say, I want in this pop-up Tetris or Mario, build me that. I need it for this brand. This is the brand guidelines, so build it. And Claspo can build for you component that no one use and only you and your clients can use. That's one thing that our AI adoption gives. Another thing is the conversion rate optimization. So it is, as I mentioned before, it is a very complex thing. First of all, the complex thing is the benchmarks. That's where every CRO framework starts to have a benchmarks where to start. Yes, so we have these benchmarks. We have billions of page views of pop-up views that allow us to give a good starting point to set the right hypothesis on the very beginning. And then the agentic AI helps to take this campaign, this just set up campaign based on our averages, and to improve it for your traffic, for your website. Just analyzing segments, checking hypotheses, and always improving conversion of pop-ups. So yes, that's the two main things that AI help do is the conversion rate optimization and creative freedom.
Yeah, I love the creative freedom. I think it's very interesting that you can really create a competitive mode. I mean, you brought up the game example, but I think that just literally, I think that's the whole idea of how I believe AI has been very impactful or can be for brands is the human interaction and the human creativity, because AI, you can't say, hey, make me something creative. It's like, okay, like what are you thinking of? Like it just doesn't work like that. It's just like the human has to come up with the idea and then all of a sudden then prompting that in there in natural language. You don't have to type it. Use Whisper Flow or whatever kind of like tool you're using, and just talk very generically into the system. And then all of a sudden, yeah, this can pop out. I think that's like really cool. I also could see like the A/B testing opportunity, like these, and I think that's a really good edge case where, like, let's let the system come up with an A/B test and a winner for conversion, and then once you have that winner, I think if you're not testing, you're not improving, right? That's just kind of a standard marketing tactic. So I can see how your solution is very helpful in that helping you write and translate and suggested tests and picking winners and all that. I think that's really neat.
Yeah. That's how Google Ads works. That's how Meta Ads works. That you start with the suggested, for example, messages.
Right.
Yes. And these messages are not excellent, but they are not bad. But this is a good point to start with.
Right.
And you start, and then you improve. You are checking A/B tests, and when humans do that, it's very complicated. Now agents can do that. And Steve, the third option that AI also open in the marketing technology at all is the connectivity. So MCP, Claspo MCP can be connected with Klaviyo MCP with Shopify, and everything works from the one cursor window. It's amazing. That's amazing things that happening right now. People stop using the tools UI.
I know.
Do from one window. They can manage some stuff that requires connection of Claspo, Klaviyo, and Shopify together, and they will do it with one prompt.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I know. I'm a heavy cloud user, and I have many MCP servers connected, more in the media company space. Let's say like Ahrefs for like data. For what's happening with keyword rankings and competitiveness and gap analysis, and then I use another tool that connects to Search Console and like over at Google, and then Google Analytics, and then I have a few others. So it's interesting that the workflow is there, and I'm glad. I didn't realize you had an MCP server. I think that's definitely a value add for those power users that are using Cowork or straight Claude, being able to access MCP directly on an account. Which kind of gives me another question here about like the Shopify app. It sounds like it sounds like it's a one-click kind of install. What happens when somebody installs Claspo on their store? Like, can you talk about what's going on in the background? What's the ingestion process? Is it understanding orders? Is it products? Like, I don't know what it's ingesting from the company, and then is there some hand holding about some next steps once the ingestion process is finished?
So, first thing that happens when you install Shopify app Claspo, you deliver our script to your website. That's the first thing. Another thing is that you make a connection between, for example, some features Shopify and Claspo, like promo codes. You got dynamic promo codes from Shopify to Claspo. This is one of painful stuff, when merchants offering these discounts on the website, and some hackers, or I don't know, scammers, they just steal these promo codes and place it on aggregators, and then this fraudulent stuff happening. It's very, very bad. So we connect this stuff, like as I said, promo codes, to avoid this. And also we connect the system that passes the promo code to the cart. So if you, for example, clicked promo code on Claspo Popup, it will be automatically in the cart. So,
I see. Yeah.
And many other things that picture our integration with Shopify. Then you go to Claspo Cabinet, because we have a separate UI for Builder, and you can create your first campaign. You can set up from ready-made zero pop-ups. That's like ready templates, ready tactics that are definitely working with the proven conversion rates. You set it up quickly, just tweaking to your brand, checking if the targetings and triggerings, that you are okay with that, and run a campaign, and then request for improvement, and we do improvement with the AI agent.
Yeah.
That's how the overall process looks like.
Yeah, this is amazing. And then as far as connections, so that's the Shopify part of it. And then I always bring this up, but there's obviously some skeptics out there that would say, I don't want to keep adding different apps and things. I'm worried about how well and if they play nicely together. What's your thought or intentionality around how you connect to like Klaviyo and Omnisend or other different tools? I want to make sure that the data and everybody's playing nice with each other.
I know this concern, and I understand merchants' concern about that. Especially, I've read some articles where SEO guys, they did the research, and they researched the impact of some Shopify apps on Core Web Vitals. Yeah. So I understand that. Wow! If something made wrong on the technical part, it can hurt, of course. Yes. Yeah. But from our perspective, it is very, very simple, because we upload our script asynchronically, so it has no impact on Core Web Vitals. Right. Regarding the orchestration and connectivity with other apps, we have a direct integrations with ESP systems. So we are working on deepening integrations with Klaviyo, with Omnisend, because we had basic, and now we make more deeper integration so our system can communicate in both sides. Right. That means that if you have in Klaviyo segment, you can target Claspo pop-ups on Klaviyo segment. That's a part. So yes, I think that this connectivity issue is not an issue for us. I see that there are no problems.
Yeah.
Everything is all set. We're
What's
all set here.
What's interesting I noticed too was that, and I think what legitimizes Claspo is the fact that, you are a built for Shopify app status. And so like that means something when, you have the badge built for Shopify, because what it does is it confirms Shopify is very specific. They don't grant these to everybody, and they have very high standards for performance and data integrity, design and integration, these sort of things, right? And I think that badge is a real performance component around what it is that you guys have built. And so when you think about that, that's part of kind of how you're positioning the product. And Shopify agrees about something that's fast loading, privacy friendly settings, these sort of things. It's like, and even merchants, when you read the reviews, like I did research for recording, like you read the reviews and people are saying that the pop-ups load extremely fast, and the app did not slow down their website. And I mean, this is self-reported, but these are live merchants that are like incredibly happy with the platform.
Yeah. So it's very easy and measurable thing. I mean, this performance impact. So we have it even in our account. So you can, since you install scripts or install app, you can see the impact on your performance. So
it's amazing.
We are pretty honest. We are tracking it for this metric for ourselves from day one.
Yeah.
And show this metric to merchants. Also, regarding the badge built for Shopify, we don't have this badge. We have badged like Shopify partner.
Okay. Oh, that's it.
Okay. The only thing why we don't have is we don't have this built-in UI UX in Shopify. So we don't have this because our Popup builder is it is not a complex. It gives design freedom. It's like Figma. So we can't just, if we will move it inside of the Shopify's UI UX, we will lose many interesting stuff that help our pop-ups shine.
Yeah, this is amazing. So what do you think some of the next steps are? Because I think, there's lots of people listening today. There are our agency partners that are listening that, that do done-for-you services, marketing services for their clients. And then there are, the founders and marketers that are listening that are just like looking for, we've chatted for half an hour here. I think there's opportunity. There's a lot of people, they don't know what they don't know, or they're doing something more basic built into their ESP. What do you tell those both agency people, and then what do you tell the marketers now of these Shopify businesses? Like, what do you think their next steps might be now?
I think that the next steps is the open dialogue with the agencies regarding this agentic AI. We should rebuild our flows. I think so, because agencies can do now more. Can focus on creativity, can focus on ideas for improving conversion, and pay less attention to this, routine work like A/B tests, like managing multiple accounts, and so on and so on. Because agentic AI can do it very, very easily and cheaper, much more cheaper than people do. But
Right.
creativity and conversion rate optimization, like part of, like the result of creativity, not just the routine work, but creativity. I believe that this is the future, and this is the dialogue that should be between vendors, agencies, and brands together.
Right. It's amazing. All right, we are nearing the end of the show for today, but man, I know we kind of had a little conversation before recording, and I understand that you have an offer for our listeners if they, want to learn more and actually try the solution out. So can you share some of the details of that special listener-only offer?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, every new user can claim 20% off welcome for all Pro plans. Pro plans in Claspo means that plans with the high volume of page views,
Right.
And you can claim it just type Fastlane in support chat, and our customer success will apply this promo code for you.
Okay.
And also, if you're an agency operating with DTC brands that having like more than 50,000 monthly traffic, and if you're interested to test Claspo over your current solution to try to convert more emails and phone numbers to your base, just find me, Taras Talimonchuk, on LinkedIn and direct message me, and I will help.
All right, beautiful. Okay, I'll make sure I put your LinkedIn details on the show notes. That'll be at ecommercefastlane.com. Yeah, this is great. I'll make sure that I have a link. So, the app is free. Like, you literally can download it. Just go to the Shopify App Store, install it. I think it's up to 3,000 page views. You can at least try it and kind of see what the UI is all about, and then going, okay, yeah, I like this. I think this could be very impactful and it connects to Klaviyo or Omnisend correctly. So there's no cost to you to at least install it and try it as a test, and then you go, okay, yeah, I think I can really get rolling on this. And then if you flip to one of their paid plans, I think there is a 14-day free trial anyways on that plan. And then if you choose to continue on, then you'll get this Fastlane bonus, just messaging the customer service people through the chat widget. So that's really cool. So yeah, it's been really impactful. Thank you for coming on the show today. I've learned a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is lovely.
Nice conversation. Thank you.
All right, Dave. Well, that's it for today's episode. I'd like to thank you personally for being a loyal listener of E-commerce Fastlane. It's my hope that this podcast is offering you a ton of value through growth strategies, tactics, and exclusive insider tips on the best Shopify apps and marketing platforms, all with my personal goal to help you build, manage, grow, and scale a successful and thriving company powered by Shopify. Thanks for investing some time today and listening to the show. I'm so proud and excited that you have a growth mindset and are a constant learner. I truly appreciate you and your entrepreneurial journey. Enjoy the rest of the week and keep thriving with Shopify.